Now, it's a multi-award winning chippy and restaurant, and the packaging is okay up to now. It's got the logo on it, MALT and Anchor, and not your average chippy. And part of their slogan is traditional fish and chips with a twist. So, well, let's see, because it wasn't cheap at all. And because it wasn't cheap at all, and it's a little bit more what they consider upmarket, I'm going to open a bottle of downmarket Budweiser to celebrate this meal. Okay, let's get stuck in. Okay, so what we've got here is salt and pepper, squid, great big box, has to be said, but again, cardboard, I like cardboard and paper. They sort of look empty in there for £7.50. So let's give it a go. The breading is okay. The squid is fairly tender. Not a great deal of flavour past the breading. I sounded disappointed there for a minute. I kind of was, because it seemed like quite an empty box for the money. Twice fried chips. On first appearance, they kind of look thrice fried chips. But let's give it a go. I'm not in favour of these at all, to be honest with you. Boona curry sauce. They have ordinary curry sauce. Yeah, it's very spicy for a Boona. Ham hock mushy peas. Let's give them a go. Yeah, there's all sorts going on in there. There's plenty of ham in there. Yeah, I'd certainly recommend those. Not particularly big pot, but so let's try one of these twice fried chips. I wasn't scratching my ear with it, it just got an itch on my ear. But I could do. Yeah, they go well together. I'm just not sold on these chips, I'll be honest. Right, what we've got here is bubble batter prawns. Let's try the batter. No, it's just goo inside. It's just goo. Let me try the prawn, and you can see the wet batter all over the prawn. And it's not the tastiest either. Not a lot of flavour to the prawns. I'm feeling a little bit disappointed at the moment, expecting so much more from such an award-winning chippy. And the wall's full of awards. But this batter, I don't want to insult anyone, you know what? You know I don't. But that's not worth 10 quid, in my view. That's just not worth £10. Now this is the fish, as you can easily see. And it's the loin. Now the service, excellent, absolutely fabulous. The place is fabulous. Lovely little dining area if you want to go in there and eat. Cod loin. So I'm going to use a knife and fork on this. Being quite push. And I'm going to cut straight down the middle here. Oh dear. Now the fish is nice. It's moist, it's flaky, it tastes fresh. Yeah, that is really nice. But this batter, again, it's all gooey on the inside. It tastes okay, and it's kind of crispy on the outside. But once you break through that thin shell, you then have to get through the wet layer of batter. It's not a huge thick layer of wet batter, but it's wet enough. and it sort of spoils your next bit as you bite into the fish itself, because the fish is quite nice. I'll try their tartar sauce. It's okay, but it's just pure mayonnaise. I mean, I know that's a basis of tartar sauce, but it tastes like mayonnaise, not like tartar sauce. I can't explain this. It's a very odd taste. What we got here is a lovely piece of cheesecake. It looks rich, it looks fluffy. There's going to be 2 forks going into this for my wife and I, but I'm going to take a little bit off the end here. The base is nice. Yeah, that's nice. We're down to 1 fork. Right, okay. How much did I spend? Over £40 on that. Over £40. So, you know, I can be forgiven for wanting more. I expected more, and I got a lot less. The cheesecake was fabulous. The Boona curry sauce was spicier than the Boonas I've had in the past, but it was nice. I mean, I'd have gone for a madras, which I asked for, which they didn't have at the time, and they sort of had like a curry of the day or however they do it, but they didn't have the madras, so I'm good with hot curries. It's not that hot, it was just, you could tell it was spicier than normal. The peas were lovely, you know, they really were. They had the chunks of bacon in it, or chunks of ham in it. The peas were a nice consistency, so that was okay. Just wasn't a lot of them. The salt and pepper squid would have been better served in a smaller box, so they weren't rattling about. Maybe add something to it, maybe put a bit of salad with it, a few sliced onions or something, just to pad that out. And it would have made a huge difference, given that there were salt and pepper. Yeah, throw a few chilies in there. You know, even jalapenos would have done. Something to just pad that out for £7.50. The prawns were a disaster. An absolute disaster. I really wanted to, it's my, you know, I'm still on my birthday here, and I really wanted to enjoy this meal from a multi-award winning restaurant and takeaway. We'll go back to the computer, we'll look at some good and bad reviews. I'll write mine. So as you can see by that, I wasn't impressed at all. That's not to say there wasn't some nice parts of that meal. The fish was particularly nice. The batter spoilt it, but the fish itself was tasted fresh. It was a lovely piece of fish. But if I was to rate this based on, let's say, the twice cooked chips, it'd be getting a 1. If I was to base it solely on the bubble prawns, the bubble battered prawns, it'd be getting a 1, maybe a 2. And the same goes for the salt and pepper squid. While I was going through these reviews, I couldn't help but notice that a lot of the complaints were from people having takeaway and comparing the takeaway with sitting in. I mean, if that's what's happening and the takeaway people are just given a push out the door with whatever it is they've ordered and not as much care has gone into it as it would be for those sitting in the restaurant, it's wrong. But I don't know if that's the case. I can only go off the meal I've had. 1 star. I live locally, so I've both eaten in and had takeaway from there several times. A year or so ago, the food was overpriced, but just about worth it. It's got increasingly bad since then. This was a month ago, this review. Going from hit and miss to constantly disappointing. Looking at the reviews, I think they must be giving dining customers the better food and takeaway getting the reheated old stuff. Latest takeaway I got from here, the chips were somehow a mixture of mostly burnt and soggy and so greasy. Cod wasn't much better either. I threw away the majority of it, but the bit I did eat left me feeling sick the rest of the night. Kept hoping they'll improve, but finally going to give up on this. Unfortunately, I didn't take a photo, but trust me, looked nothing like the ones from these 5-star reviews on here. 3 star, I had the battered sausage and mash, and my partner had the seafood salad. Mine was bland with no taste, and my partner didn't really enjoy hers. 5 star, it is obvious why Malt and Anchor have won national awards. The quality of the ingredients and the cooking skill makes this a cut above the rest. Crispy, light batter, perfect chips, Technical perfection in a friendly, laid-back setting. Excellent all round. Worth making a diversion to experience. Mine, 3-star. Now, I expected to be looking at a 5-star from this restaurant. There was just no way. And not based on my meal. Disappointing. Upon entering the Molten Anchor, things looked promising. It was nicely decorated, appeared clean and tidy, and the staff were welcoming. Given the high prices, I was anticipating quality, tasty food. Unfortunately, the bubble batter prawns were a serious letdown, and the batter undercooked on the inside, causing the prawns to drown in wet batter. The ham hock mushy peas were nice, though the portion was small. The salt and pepper squid was flavoursome, albeit lacking in salt and pepper, and the few pieces seemed lost in the large box. The cod loin was tasty and meaty, yet marred by more soggy batter. The chips were dreadful. The cheesecake was fluffy and delicious, with a generous serving. Regrettably, though some aspects of the meal were enjoyable, too many items fell short, and it seemed overpriced for what was offered. Cooking in, palm oil. Hygiene, 5. Fish reviewed, cod loin. Payment method, cash or card. So there you have it. A multi-award-winning chippy. Could it have been a bad day? It could have been a bad day, but I can only go off my day. So, I can't sort of go back into, 5 times a week or whatever. It's got to be based on my day. Because it could have been, it might not have been me, it could have been someone else. So, yeah, join me on the next one. This is a brand new channel for 2024. So if you like this video, subscribe, share it, like it, hit the notification bell. And if you have any recommendations in your area, put them in the comments. Thank you.